Russia is doing war game practice 25 miles from the coast of Florida to show they aren't scared of Biden and are willing to fight the U.S. military. Jesse Waters of Fox News perfectly exposes Biden's plan with son Hunter Biden. Senator Mitch McConnell backs Donald Trump publicly and says the weaponization of the justice system must stop. Plus, DOJ head Merrick Garland is held in contempt by Republicans in Congress, and arrest could be happening as early as today. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out, so thank you so much. As Biden continues to criticize Israel, his administration has just authorized Ukraine's Azov Brigade, which has reported to historically be a pro-Nazi brigade, to use American weapons against Russia. To justify this action, the State Department argued that the unit passed a vetting process where they determined they are not currently violating human rights. Whether this is true or not, it's not determined, but it's definitely not a good look from an optics perspective to be giving anti-Semitic pro-Nazi groups American money and American weapons. In response, Ukraine called the accusations Russian propaganda. However, your group is the one that dresses with Nazi patches and pledges your allegiance to the Bandera Nazi group. Now, it's really funny to me that the people on the left labeling Trump as the modern day Hitler when Biden is the one arming Nazi sympathizers in Ukraine. For instance, just look at what MSNBC host Rachel Maddow is saying. During an interview with CNN, Maddow literally claimed that she's worried that Donald Trump will send her to one of his massive camps. She stated, if every election is an opportunity for him to go to prison, do you think he will allow us to have a new election? I mean, if those are the stakes, if winning the election is his plan to stay out of prison, what happens in that election if and when he does not win? So basically saying he's never going to leave office and that he's going to create concentration camps to round people up like her that have Trump derangement syndrome and make them go through re-education camp. When literally there are Democrats that say MAGA Republicans need to go through re-education camp. It's like whatever they are accusing us of doing, they are the ones doing it. Now that Hunter Biden has been convicted of all 3 gun charges, he faces the real possibility of prison time. Now, on technicalities, 25 years is what he deserves based off of the law. However, Breitbart News reported that this judge, as recently as a year ago, had someone with similar sentencing, and instead of the 25 years, he sentenced them to only 1 year in jail. So it's justice, but based on precedents or patterns, he will likely only go to jail for a short time. Now, following the ruling, Politico stated that their sources were saying that President Biden believed that the prosecution was politically motivated, right? So when Trump says this is politically motivated, then he's crazy, right? But now, privately, behind closed doors, President Joe Biden can say, they're politically motivated to attack my son. This is a politically motivated witch hunt, right? Like the exact same language. Now, Biden reportedly claimed that if he wasn't running for re-election, his son would have gotten a plea deal and served no prison time. With that being said, it's still unclear if Joe Biden will honor his promise not to pardon his son Hunter. In my opinion, Biden will do so if Hunter receives actual prison time, but we're not to sentencing yet. He still has to appeal. And honestly, even if he loses, he has until January 20th at noon to say, oh, actually, Hunter goes free. Now, while Biden may be acting frustrated, is he really? According to Representative James Comer, this may all be part of a plan to divert attention away from the sitting president. During an interview with Fox News host Jesse Waters, Comer claimed Hunter is taking the fall to save daddy. While speaking to Jesse Waters, he stated, "Until the Department of Justice takes the real serious crimes into account, justice has not been served. If I listed the top 10 crimes the president's son committed, lying on a gun application wouldn't even make the cut." So basically, he's saying, listen, a guy that bought a gun, not a big deal compared to the tens of millions of dollars, the harassment, being with underage girls, yada, 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 right? All of those would be in the top 10 crimes, not buying a gun. Now, interestingly enough, Representative Comer isn't the only one accusing Biden of playing chess. Earlier today, I read a great article on Breitbart News from Emma Jo Morris, and I'd really like to share her argument. It goes like this: by allowing his son to suffer the consequences of his actions, Biden will be seen as the president that upholds the rule of law, even when it hurts. This act would signal to voters that they can trust the legal system and that Trump is truly guilty and that he had a free and fair election. Now, in the event that Hunter is actually sentenced to prison, Biden could pardon him after the election without any risk to his office. Now, do you think this is their plan? Or are we giving way too much conspiracy theory on this topic? Let me know your thoughts over in the chat. I really want to hear from you. Personally, I think that this is pretty smart. I think Emma Jo is onto something. However, would you rather see Hunter Biden go to jail for buying a gun he never used? Or if you had to choose, would you rather see Dr. Anthony Fauci, who funded the creation of a super virus that could attach to and penetrate a human cell, literally got hundreds of millions of people sick, millions of people died, and then he stuffed Big Pharma's coffers full of money? The fact that Fauci isn't jailed actually blows my mind. This actually shows how much Big Pharma controls Congress, the mainstream media, professional sports, and Wall Street. Now, there are people who are still dealing with COVID and long COVID, people with paranoia still wearing masks in public and by themselves in their car. Fauci was literally ruining people's lives, doctors' careers, children's future, while selling us all out to Big Pharma. Yet we weren't told about the existing drugs and vitamins and treatments that would help with COVID and long COVID. Now, check this out.
So we know now the messenger RNA and the adenoviral DNA vaccines install large amounts of spike protein in the body, the full-length spike protein. This is the most dangerous protein we've ever encountered in human medicine. It gets into the heart, the brain, the nervous system, causes blood clots. The Biden administration and HHS has invested $1 billion in long COVID syndrome. Long COVID syndrome is largely caused by this spike protein. Myself and others in my circles zeroed in on the spike protein and started asking the question, how can we assist the body in getting rid of this? And the key ingredient is nattokinase, which is an enzyme. The enzyme uniquely breaks down this spike protein. It literally melts it away, whether it's free or even if it's inside cells. The nattokinase moves within cells. The nattokinase is also thrombolytic. It actually breaks up blood clots. And we know the spike protein causes its damage by causing micro blood clots. So nattokinase is almost a perfect answer for this.
All right, now, isn't that crazy? Even Robert Redfield, the former head of the CDC, said Fauci's fingerprints are all over this. Helping Big Pharma get government money is all over this. And there's a way to prevent it, but they didn't want to tell us. Now, I want to get personal for a minute. Many of you know I got very sick during COVID. I had Delta COVID back to back, and the spike protein started replicating in my heart, my internal organs, and my brain, just as he said. My doctors put me on a special protocol to remove the spike protein. Now, I'm grateful to partner with the wellness company to bring you this information. I've been feeling tired, sick, having unexplained symptoms. Maybe you have too. That's probably COVID damage and spike protein damage within your body. Those who got the shot pushed by Dr. Fauci might also be dealing with health issues because of the spike protein. the wellness company has created the Spike Detox Trio to help. It was put together by Dr. Peter McCullough, one of the most published doctors in the world and a vocal critic of Dr. Fauci. This blend helps remove the spike protein trapped in your body. Now, the information from the wellness company, it saved my life. So that's why I'm grateful to partner with them. I'm going to leave a link down below. Use code AMAZING at checkout to get 10% off plus free shipping. Now, women who are pregnant or people on blood thinners should not use this product. I hope it helps. All right, now in a plot twist, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is now defending President Donald Trump after being highly critical of him for years. In a post on X, McConnell bashed Manhattan DA Alvin Braggs for charging Trump with 34 felonies. He stated, "These charges never should have been brought in the first place. I expect the conviction to be overturned on appeal." Now that Trump has McConnell's support once again, the two are planning to meet in person for the first time since 2020. I never expected the possibility of a Trump-McConnell friendship, but I guess we live in a crazy, unpredictable world. Or, as the truth comes out about January 6th, which is what made Mitch McConnell angry in the first place, he's probably realizing, oh, wait a minute, Donald Trump had nothing to do with this, and maybe Nancy Pelosi and Yogananda Pittman and the FBI, maybe they are the ones that were behind it. Now, speaking of social media platform X, Elon Musk is in the middle of a huge feud with Apple. After news broke that Apple would be simply repackaging OpenAI software in their operating system, Musk warned of spyware. Musk stated, if Apple integrates OpenAI at the OS level, then Apple devices will be banned at my companies. This is unacceptable security violation. Visitors will have to check their Apple device at the door where they will be stored in a Faraday cage. So this is actually pretty serious. And Apple, I don't think, understands AI. They're not building AI. They're just integrating it. And now Elon Musk is saying, wait a minute, you fools. This is actually significantly more dangerous to all of us than any of you understand. You could be setting up all of these electronic devices to be booby traps against humanity. For the first time in a while, we actually got some decent news regarding inflation. According to May's CPI report, prices for products, excluding food and energy, are rising less quickly compared to previous months. Now, according to Breitbart, this new report makes it likely that the Federal Reserve could cut rates at least one time before the end of the year. Now, I guess one time is better than zero, but I was hoping for more good news. But it does look like inflation is starting to slow. Although, let me know in the chat, don't you think it's suspicious that they tell us life is getting less expensive, but then they don't include the cost of energy like gas, oil, electricity, propane, oil for heating your home? They also don't include food. Like, give me a break, right? Like, those are a couple of my most expensive things, like my grocery bill and my energy bill. Like, those are some of the biggest costs in my life. All right, now in another huge twist, the House of Representatives has voted 208 yays to 207 in favor of holding Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress. Merrick Garland is the head of the Department of Justice. He is the one at the top taking directions from Joe Biden and the White House on how to politically persecute Donald Trump in court cases. He's also the one blocking access to Biden's top secret document audio tapes. Arrest him, many are saying. If Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon can be arrested for contempt of Congress, then Merrick Garland should be arrested today. Now, of course, Democrats are going to do everything in their power to keep Garland from being arrested. And this does have to go through the Senate, which we all know is full of rhinos and Democrats. And Democrats have the majority right now. But I still see this as a step in the right direction. And it shows that Republicans had backbone when it comes to standing up for justice. Now, a lot more needs to be done. And one thing that should be done in the next week is they should be voting to defund Special Prosecutor Jack Smith, whom Merrick Garland admitted under oath to Representative Thomas Massey that he had no authority to put Jack Smith in charge of the cases brought against former President Donald Trump. So wouldn't that be awesome if they come back and they say, oh, hey, wait a minute. Actually, you have no authority. Therefore, you get no money. And these court cases, boom, literally vanish and evaporate overnight. Now, the main talking point is Democrats say only Republicans want these tapes. That is a lie. They say it will be Republicans that alter the tapes, not the Democrats. Also a lie. They even said that Republicans might want to run the audio tapes through AI in order to change it. This is another lie. Like, hello, you can fact check all of this. Republicans aren't stupid. But maybe they're thinking this because this is exactly what they did to President Trump during the January 6th Unselect Committee. During timestamps, changing photos, and Twitter tweets in order to make Donald Trump look guilty, in order to blame Donald Trump, in order to make him look bad on national television. However, media outlets such as Associated Press, Constant Negative News, CNN, NBC, and the Washington Post are all suing to get access to those audio tapes. And Merrick Garland has been subpoenaed. But you know what he said? I only respond to subpoenas that I think are real. So, like, he's telling us every single day, no one is above the law except for me, the head of the DOJ. I am the law. Now, where have we heard something like that? Oh, yes, Dr. Fauci. I am science. You are attacking me. I am science. This is literally what I am justice. Therefore, I'm above the law, and I don't have to comply with these subpoenas or hand over evidence that makes my boss look like an imbecile fool with a weak memory. That's what's really happening. So we'll see what ends up happening. But the fact that Biden refuses to take a cognitive test or a drug test proves he's out of his mind mentally. And now they are doing everything in their power to bury these tapes. The WEF, or World Economic Forum, has a new goal for 2024 and 2025. It's come up with marketing and a path to take half the cars in the world off the street. They say half the cars should be removed and people should share a car with their neighbor so that we can stop global warming or climate change. Sorry, they change the name so often. Here's what they had to say. WEF Young Global Leader Ida Aachen said, if you can get people to share a car, you can take out a lot of cars in the streets. The interesting thing about technology is that it makes sharing fun and not annoying. If you can use your neighbor's car because you have a smartphone app, you don't even need to know your neighbor to get into his car, or if you can find a way to carpool. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but like you getting rid of your car, that's fun. That's not annoying. Not owning a car is fun. And using your neighbor's car, even if you don't know him, that can be fun. That can be so much fun, right? Not at all annoying, right? Like, oh, we have an emergency. Let me just jump in my car. No, oh, let me just get an Uber. Or, let me just open my iPhone app that's now controlled by AI. And let me just use my neighbor's car. The neighbor I don't even know. Like, it's so stupid. The ideas that come out of the World Economic Forum are so stupid. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't say, like, hey, listen, people love cars, but they're getting very expensive. What if we just made electric bicycles more affordable and accessible to everybody? Like, that would be a real solution. But now, like, oh, you've got to go on and get rid of your car, and then you've got to share with a neighbor you don't know. Why? Because of the climate change agenda and making saving the planet fun and not annoying. Gosh. All right, now speaking of annoying, yesterday I told you how Russia moved warships with hypersonic missiles and a nuclear sub to the island of Cuba. Well, today they have been out in the ocean practicing war games, firing off missiles, shooting guns. Now, they made sure that those of us in Florida, 66 miles away in the United States, were able to see what they were doing. We were able to see their power and their weapons. The missing nuclear sub I told you about has finally surfaced and is now ported in Cuba. Now, I'm so glad that we've been backing Ukraine with money and weapons so that Russia can show up on our back door and let us know that they're not at all afraid of Joe Biden or the U.S. military. So glad we're in that fight with Russia. All right, now, lastly, Representative Tim Burchett, who's been on my show, is requesting an immediate investigation into Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the 51 intelligence agents for their role in interfering in the 2020 election. If things are so serious with Trump questioning the election, what about the people that we now have evidence actually rigged the election? We know for a fact from the former acting CIA head that Antony Blinken called him and said, you need to push this story. You need to get your colleagues to sign this letter. We have a presidential debate. Get on top of this. We have to bury this story. If you knew what was on this laptop, you would literally puke your guts out. This cannot come out or else Trump will stay in office. They interfered in the election. We now know it 100%. And finally, someone with stones is saying, hey, we have to investigate Antony Blinken. I don't care if he's the Secretary of State. I don't care if Merrick Garland is the head of the Department of Justice. These people are breaking the law. They are rigging the system. They are persecuting. They are using politics as a weapon, the Justice Department as a weapon, the intelligence agencies as a weapon to discredit your vote and my vote, to disenfranchise your vote and my vote. I want them to be investigated. We need justice, right? We absolutely need justice. So I support Representative Tim Burchett in getting this done, and I hope that it will. All right, now this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more with you. If you could, please give this video a like because it helps by telling YouTube to share this with others. Also, hit that subscribe button. I want you in my community. Let's grow together. Let's learn together. Let's seek the truth together. I love you guys. Stay amazing. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next video.